There will be people here whose lives her mere presence has changed. Mine, most of all.
You.
Oh, Ashton! The image is blurry, but standing there, right in the middle of the room by one of the cubicles, I can make out a form of a...
What the hell is...
No!
Get out of there.
What? What are you...
Out. Get out. I'll meet you in the elevator. Just...
Oh!
You're creeping me out, Ash.
Oh,
Son of a...
Ah!
Hey, Becca. Call me back when you're free. We need to talk. ASAP.
I've been looking all over the mansion for you. I thought you'd be...
What mansion?
Do I really need to answer that?
No, wait. Just get your ass to Isabella's place and hurry.
Hey internet, it's Jessica and welcome back to the letter. So Ashton is going to grab Isabella and I'm a little bit concerned because we heard from Zach but we haven't heard from Rebecca, so I don't know how this is going to end up and how bad it's going to affect everyone because they're all so close with each other. Oh my goodness. Anyway, let's continue. This is not the first time I've seen Isabella like this, standing casually by her kitchenette, a ladle in hand, keeping an eye on whatever's stewing on the stove, while humming a soft tune under her breath. 5 years ago, it has become a common sight after 3 of them, including Zach and Rebecca, found a mutual interest in cooking. After that, whatever our schedule allows it, one of them will invite everyone to dinner or lunch instead of eating out. That's very sweet. They would just cook for each other. Rebecca prefers it that way, healthier, she claims. Zach is just too happy to be able to cook for everyone. Isabella, on the other hand, as long as there's food, she's happy. Me? I've been banned from the kitchen ever since the pressure cooker incident. Easier times, good times. Right now, however, the scene brings an odd sense of normalcy, a strange fit with all the things that are going on around us. Not an unwelcome one, only bizarre, I suppose? Isabella doesn't follow up with her question either, but she does raise an eyebrow my way when I take too long to answer. For that, I only offer a casual shrug in response and a short answer.
I've checked with Zach and Rebecca. I'm just waiting to hear back from them.
I'll add up an quip or two for her, if the timing for the joke isn't off or doing so won't be so inappropriate. I don't want to alarm her either. There's no reason to, yet. Until Zach gets here or until I've received an answer from Rebecca, whichever comes first. Nevertheless, it's clear she has plenty of questions. It's right there in the subtle crease between her eyebrows and the inquisitive gleam in her eyes. Curious as she is, though, she decides against voicing all of her questions out. Instead, she shifts her attention back to the stove and gestures vaguely with her hand in the couch's direction.
Well, if we're going to wait for them, don't stand around there. It's getting distracting.
Okay.
You're just cooking. How am I distracting?
I think it's just she's nervous, you know, once you mentioned Zach and Rebecca and then he hasn't heard from them, she's just nervous to see, like, what happened to them.
I don't know. Something might explode again, maybe. Zach's kitchen ban for you is also in effect here, you know. Stop hovering. You'll ruin the food. I'll be done here soon.
She leaves no room for an argument by swatting the ladle at me, and just like that, I've been kicked out of the kitchen. Left with nothing else to do, I drift back to her tiny living space and slump down on the couch. Closing my eyes, I allow the noise from the television to guide my thoughts. The ones that I've been keeping at bay, freeing them from the cage I've built around them so that I won't have to think. One by one, they trickle back into my consciousness, each more frightening and unnerving than the other. So many things going on, so many things happening. The paper we've gotten from BRC doesn't provide any comfort either. Seriously, is there even a point to those after last night? What will asking those people do? If anything, this only proves there might be more copies of that dumb piece of paper. We've got one here, but how many exactly is out there? More importantly, how do we get out of this stupid mess?
Ashton.
Damn it, I haven't felt this kind of bone-wearing exhaustion in years.
I don't want to think what might happen next in case I miss something. Shit.
Rebecca, Zach, Isabella.
They're all depending on me and...
Ash!
The voice snaps me out of my thoughts, abruptly wiping away everything running a racket inside my head. Suddenly, Isabella's there, crouched in front of me when I crack open my eye. I haven't even noticed the exact moment when I bent over and buried my head in my hands. Figures why she is staring at me like that, like I fainted or something. The crease on her eyebrows grow deeper at my lack of response. Although she's merely staring at me without saying a word, her expression says everything. So much for trying to not alarm her with bad news.
Sorry, I just spaced out for a moment. Don't mind me.
I do feel bad for Ashton because, like, he's trying to, like, do, you know, the cop thing. They're like, don't worry, I'll handle everything. Everybody else, like, you know, don't worry about it. I'll keep you safe. Because that's what his job is. And it's even more intense now that he has to protect his friends. And he can't exactly let them in 100%, because like he's worried that it will cause more trouble for everyone. And I totally get that, but I think he has to tell them everything, right? Even if it's involving Luke and stuff. I feel like he has to. For a brief moment, she seems to accept that. Quietly, she shifts, stands up, and takes an empty space right beside me, all done without a single comment. Then the next thing I know, she's gently pushing a bowl in my hands. The scent reaches me first. Before I've gotten a chance to take on what it is she just put and handed me, a faint, sweet smell of cocoa wafts in from the dish. Calming, comforting, despite the multitude of things bothering me. It certainly smells like kind of food you only eat on rainy days. Though, from the get-go, it doesn't look as appetizing. What is this even? Porridge? Why would you put chocolate in it and milk drizzled on top of it? She tells me my tastes are weird, yet here she is, handing me something equally as strange. And in fact, she has already started digging in hers. I'm just not sure if the taste will be equally as appealing. Baffled, I glance her way. She offers no immediate answer, simply continuing to eat as if she hasn't done so in weeks, with her focus solely on the television. She's not watching, however, just listening, as background noise. The voices from it seem to be too cheerful, a welcome distraction if anything. It's only after she has finished off half the bowl she does to acknowledge the question in my eyes. With a sigh, she cradles the dish in her lap and looks down. Briefly, her lips part, then close. A hesitation, though I don't push her. There's a distant air on her, as if she remembers something that warrants a poignant thought. When she speaks at last, it's in a tone too careful, like she's still weighing on her words, considering the proper phrasing for it. Yet sincerity underlines each syllable once they're out in the open.
You should eat. Back at home, Mama would never let us leave the house if we hadn't eaten breakfast yet. Even Papa has got an earful when he tried. So eat. You'll need it.
I think he's more concerned about, like, what it is. She returns to her foods afterwards, while I can only stare at the one she has preferred not a few minutes ago, warm against my hands, tempting for me to take a bite. Not that I don't appreciate this, but what good will this do? Zach and Rebecca's both out there. Who knows where that ghost will show up again? Even in our dreams, we're not safe. But that's it, isn't it? We don't know when, and at present, we have a chance to respite. Maybe only one will have. Even if it's so mundane as sharing food between us quietly, just sitting side by side like this, without exchanging any words. The intent hangs unspoken in the air, something that probably goes far back as the second she offered food. Still, in the end, Isabella never pushes it, rather she lets her own silence convey her hope. Whether I allow myself to that break, she leaves it up to me. Take her off from... No, don't be a dick. First of all, they need to eat too, right? Because, like, if you don't have any strength, then, like, what's the point of fighting the ghost, you know? So just eat.
Thank you.
The words roll off my tongue, awkward and unfamiliar, far removed from those jests and quips we've shared. Yet she accepts this with a smile and nothing more. Regardless of everything left unsaid, the sight of it brings comfort, more so than any generous offer of food can give. Though we both lapse into silence after, as we finish our food, there's an ease in it, in the muffled sound of Luxburn filtering in the room, the light and streaming into her window, and the faint draft occasionally drifting in, catching the loose tendrils of her hair, in the way her voice falters from when she tries to form words. And despite the horror looming over us, I find myself wishing for our minutes to slow, for seconds to last. But ultimately, she's the only one who breaks it, softly, after a minute's pause, in words mumbled under her breath. Sometimes silence simply compels us to speak.
I've been wondering, before last night, before Mama told me the news, what if Papa passes away, despite everything? That sort of thing. I know it's not good to think about, but I also knew it was getting worse. Mama won't say anything, but I've always known that one day, he'll eventually...
She releases a sigh as her grip on the bowl she still holds tightens. There are no tears, but she might as well have them with how weak her voice falls. Are there even any left?
I don't know what I'm going to do. Before, I can easily say it's because of Papa. Now, I don't have anything.
What? You have us!
You have that scholarship from LuxU.
Were you going through my personal papers while I was sleeping last night?
I don't really have to. You left it sitting in the open. Right there on the table.
Like there is still anything to hide, she snatches it away from where I placed it back earlier. Except there's no anger or annoyance in her face when she looks at it and rereads every line with pensive expression. After a short while, she folds it neatly along the creases and sets it back.
I don't even know if this will work out.
Well, if it doesn't, what about that exhibit you've been planning with Zach?
Do I even have to ask where you got that?
Zach sucks at lying. You have no idea how easy he is to read. It was all in his face when I asked about it, and anyway, if that doesn't pan out too...
I trail off, hesitating, measuring the weight of my next words. Genuine as they are, a part of me believes they're a burden, too heavy to impose upon her. What does that mean? Because no matter how much I want her to stay, we're not what ties her here. It'll be selfish to ask of her. More than anything, her family will always come first. I say, nevertheless, if only to let her know that no matter what her choice will be, there will be people here whose lives her mere presence has changed. Mine, most of all.
You.
Oh, Ashton!
You have us.
The words startle her to a pause, and slowly she turns to me, her eyes wide, disbelief all over her face. But before regret forces up an apology in my throat, her expression dissolves into something I can't quite place. Something distantly softer, more tender, familiar, almost in the same manner she glanced at me many years ago, the day at the bridge. However, I can't get a chance to figure out what it all means for her. All of a sudden, a knock breaks the moment, and just as fast, both of our attention shifts towards the source. Damn it, they freaking ruined the moment. Before things can get awkward fast, I stand up and open the door while muttering some flimsy excuse in the process.
I'll get that. It's probably Zach or Rebecca.
Really, I know that we're in a pinch, but their timing can't be any worse. Unrelated frustrations aside, once I fling the door open, a whole chunk of stone that has been stuck in the pit of my stomach simultaneously uneases itself. Thank God! Zach is here! My goodness! There in the hallway stands Zach, his hands raised ready for another knock. Although he's not in his most presentable at the moment, ruffled and drenched with sweat as he is, relief quickly washes over me like a tide. He is still panting when he pushes me aside and heads in. The second his feet crosses the threshold, he scans the place, eyeing whatever little he can to see of the room from the doorway. He finds none of whatever he's looking for. He turns with me with a questioning look, one that has a hint of panic in it.
You said it was urgent. Did anything happen? Is it Becca? Bella?
Everyone's fine. Well, Becca's not here. She went somewhere this morning and hasn't answered any of my calls yet. But Isabella's...
I'm here, Zach. Morning.
His weight shifts at the same time. The stiff line in his shoulder eases once Isabella walks up to us and welcomes him with a smile. He relaxes then, returns her greeting in kind as soon as he has let out a breath he has been holding, and the tension's finally off his body.
So, nothing's wrong? Why'd you call me here for this?
My explanation can wait. He has a lot of explaining to do. The fact that he went to Ansem alone for some godforsaken reason warrants a proper one. Ghost or not, he's already been giving a warning. It frustrates me to no end that this might be the plan he mentioned last time we spoke. I get that he's worried about Hannah, right? Somehow they become friends, but that's not the issue here. Not when there's a murderous ghost who might go after one of us at any given time. Sure, Zach made it here in one piece by some dumb luck. He's alright, and it takes one off the list of people I need to worry about. Frankly, as annoyed as I am, I can't just stay angry at him when I look at the situation that way. Hell, if that call didn't connect in the exact minute, there might have been a chance that he won't be standing here. This is a blessing in itself. Yeah, if I didn't tell him to go away, instead of going into the house when it was, some person was screaming, I think I would have killed Zach there. Though, first things first, some things still need to be discussed. You promise you won't do anything stupid. You're okay. I get that, yeah, I would say the same thing, what are you doing, why are you going there, you're being so stupid, but at the same time, I'd be more relieved that he's freaking alive, so I'll be like, you're okay. Except when I open my mouth, the only thing that spills from me is my own relief. Despite myself, despite the rational part of my brain screaming everything wrong about Zach's neat little plan, we've had so many close calls within just a single night. Zach showing up in Isabella's doorstep alive, whole, and unharmed? I might as well take comfort in that while I still can.
You're okay.
You did tell me not to do anything stupid.
Suddenly, the whole room feels too heavy, and all I'm able to do is drop down to the couch. A headache also threatened to burst at the same moment, or perhaps this is what a release from anxiety feels like? Regardless, I reach up in my head and pinch the bridge of my nose, even if it'll likely do nothing to alleviate the impending pain.
Christ, you were right there! We have this stupid curse thing going on, and you were right there! You just walked up inside a private property!
Yeah, that was kind of dumb.
Those people can easily sue you for breaking and entering, and that's the least of it.
I know, Ash. But I can't just leave things as they are. I've got to do something.
God damn it, Zach, I was worried.
Unexpectedly, he laughs. Not the half-hearted sort he makes when he's awkward or coming up with an excuse, a genuine one. Before my annoyance grows again and I snap at him, though, he suddenly catches me in a headlock. his arms looping around my neck while he grinds his knuckle into my skull. Helpless, I squirm under his grip in protest. Even then, it's hard to do something when you're up against a 6-footer.
Zach!
Aw, he's worried. Why didn't you say so? That cool act ain't gonna fool me anymore.
Let go!
He relents soon enough, though, only after he's done ample damage to my hair. I hate when he does that. But for a few moments there, the tense mood finally lightens up, and everything feels like how it used to be before this whole mess began. Makes appreciating little moments like this easier. Still.
Seriously, Zach. Why are you even there?
Told you already. I was looking for you.
Why would I even go there?
Well, you mentioned a plan with Isabella here.
Oh, and he thought they went
I
to the
assume
mansion.
that's where you guys went, since that's where she found the letter. Sorry. I was really at a dead end.
The logic in it stuns me into silence, to say the least. Then I remembered his hesitance, the tone he has taken before agreeing to go here, and all at once my anger from what he's done wanes. Partly this is my fault for keeping things vague. I can berate him for assuming that, when I've only left him with vague answers.
You could have called me.
I did.
I didn't receive any, and my phone was with me.
You're kidding, right? I was at it the whole night.
That's true, he was calling him since the park. The whole atmosphere in the room changes in 2 heartbeats. Back again at the tension-riddled one plaguing us. Zachary stares at me like I've grown another head, then gradually he shifts his attention to Isabella. The expression in his eyes, questioning, asking for a confirmation, like my words can't be trusted, not that I'm holding it against him. I can't even believe the things coming out of my mouth these past few hours. Meanwhile, Isabella stays quiet, has been like that for quite some time. She looks like she wants to disappear right now. Guilt, frustration, anger, fear all flashes fleetingly across her face before it melts away under an expression of worry.
Please tell me he's joking. You were there?
No, we really didn't get any. Everything was quiet last night, but Zach at BRC? Ashton and I saw...
She never gets to finish that. Oh, abruptly my phone rings again, blaring its badly sang ringtone through the whole room. Both of them pause, waiting, when I pull it out to check the caller ID.
It's back.
Ah! No! Oh no! Oh no!
I'll tell her to get here as soon as she can.
Oh no! Without another word, I slip out into the room and answer the call. However, the tone she assumed isn't what I'm hoping to hear.
Becca?
Hey, did I wake you up?
No! Damn it! Ragged and a bit out of breath, there's a tiny tinge of urgency in it. Listening from her on the other side of the line makes it seem like she has just run a marathon prior to this call.
No, I left you a voicemail, so I thought, where are you?
Ash, do you remember that one time?
The question catches me off, to say the least. Where's she going with this?
The... what?
Back in secondary, we joined a contest back then, didn't we? We had to dress you up as a girl and...
No.
What? You looked really pretty. I think I still have that picture somewhere.
Burn it. We're not talking about that again. You promised.
It did happen, not a memory I'm very fond of, to be honest. Still, laughter escapes me no matter how embarrassing it is. That moment is one of the few that I can remember clearly in my head. I never did find where she kept those photographs.
Seriously, what brought this on?
Nothing.
Oh my god.
It's just the first thing I remembered.
You're being weird today, Becca. Whatever. Listen, I need you to go home right away. I'm at Salem Well right now and...
Thanks, Ash.
What? Suddenly her voice hitches, almost as if she's in tears, and it sends an alarm bell ringing in my head. For better or for worse, something more than wrong is happening on her end of the line. Regardless, I give her the focus she asks of me. I don't want her to think she's nearly pleading for me to listen to. I'd like to imagine this isn't a horror or a deep underlying resignation that I hear in her voice. I'm transfixed.
Hold on, did I do something?
For everything.
Rebecca, what?
I'm so glad to have known you.
Wait, what are you...
Whatever her words mean or feeling that they cause crease in the matter of this instant, they're all inconsequential when Rebecca's life might be in danger. This whole thing isn't just wrong. Whatever she is, something's fucked up and is going on, and I'm here listening to it right now helpless.
God damn it, Rebecca, where are you?
No! A laughter, then the line drops dead!
Becca? Rebecca!
Oh, dread! It turns into terror, and then sudden commotion from Isabella's room comes rushing into all at once. Zach's worried whispers, Isabella's anxious pleas, and the television broadcasting some news on the jumper all over the city. There's a split second, and I'm torn between trying to figure out where Becca is and finding out what happened to transpire the chaos all of a sudden. Oh god, she's dead! Then Isabella's horrified scream tears into everything and nothing else matters. Spurred by a cold gut feeling, I rush back inside. only to bump into Isabella. The impact causes her to stumble back. It only takes 2 breaths for her to steady herself. Shaking, she braces her both her hands against my arms, gripping my jacket tightly as if it's the only thing that's keeping her from breaking. Though, even then, there's weakness in her movements, her breathing labored. Any minute, it seems like her knees will suddenly buckle if I don't keep a firm hand on her shoulders. Yet, it all shatters when she glances up at me. Tears stream down her cheeks, panicked, desperate, her voice brimming with anguish when she speaks.
Ash, we need to get out of here. We can still save her.
How?
Save who?
Despite the question, a cold, cruel voice whispers in my head. You're too late. I want to believe it isn't. I hope and I wish it isn't who I think it is. Because I don't want to be someone who has to be so useless in the exact moment, paralyzed by dread when I heard her speak. I knew something was off, goddammit! I don't want to think that it might have been her final words I'm listening to! But the horrified possibility that what I dread is real drowns out everything else, especially the next words that tumble out of Isabella's lips.
Ash! Rebecca's! We have to help her! We can't just let her die like that!
Without warning, her knees buckle. Stunned, I have no choice to go with her. She slumps weakly on the floor, her face sinking into my shoulders as furious tears flow from her eyes. At the sound of her sobs alone, everything around us fades. Every sound, every moment becomes nothing but noise. Even Zach's somber expression doesn't completely register until I glance up at him, with a heap of question in my eyes.
Zach, what does she...
He merely looks away, not to avoid my gaze, but to lead it towards the television still blasting the same news from earlier. A live broadcast. The second my eyes land on the screen, understanding dawns me. I'm useless. Oh, bitch! What the hell? That's her! She died! Oh my god! Woman jumps to her death on Luxembourg's public library rooftop. Oh my god, I for sure killed Rebecca! Oh my god! I'm useless. Becca. I'll recognize her anywhere. I can only make out her form, even the way the station has blurred out her image on the TV. And for once, that isn't a welcome fact. Too clear, too vivid, her broken body lies on the sidewalk in just one big bloody mess. Her hair fans out and stands out of the stark contrast of the pavement, slick with blood and redder than it's ever been. The right side of her head has caved in from the impact and her right arm is twisted and mangled. Oh my god! And there are those words again around her, help me, just like the letter.
Medical personnel are on their way. Officers have resumed securing the immediate area for investigation and cleanup.
Gone.
Others have been dispatched for crowd control.
She's gone. And I wasn't able to do a damn thing about it. Even now, I can't do anything other than stare at the tragedy playing right in front of us and hold on to Isabella like a lifeline as she does to me. Can't even bring myself to move, because no matter what I say or what I do right now, empty words won't bring back the friend we all lost. Numb is an understatement. No, I feel dead inside. We all do. In the end, I can only scream. Oh my god! She's dead! I mean, I knew she was dead, but just to see her on the freaking TV all like that, oh my goodness. And they all found out together! Holy shit! Death notification is the task I avoid like the plague. Although I've known Rebecca since childhood, there are plenty of reasons why I shouldn't be the one breaking the bad news to her parents. 1 protocol states you're always supposed to do this in person. 2 protocol also states that you're supposed to do this with a partner. And 3, I've never been good with words. But here I am, unceremoniously thrust into the text, all because there's no one else. As expected, everything goes as well, but my blunt mouth can't take. Mrs. Gale's relentless sobs echo loudly through the receiver when I finish informing them, while all I can say before ending the call is an empty...
I'm really sorry, Miss Gales.
Before ending the call with a click and heading back inside to Isabella's apartment. Her mom's voice still rings in my ears as I leave it all in the hallway behind me. Here, though, Isabella's cries have already faded into soft whimpers, and sometime while taking Rebecca's family, she has fallen asleep. Now she lays still, curled up under her blanket. In the nearby couch, Zach sits silently and simply gives acknowledgement nod when I pass by. Wordless, I take the empty space on the edge of the bed. Despite how peaceful this all seems, the gravity of the news has hit all of us hard. It's in the dense air now, lingering in the room. It's in Zach's shoulders while he tries to make himself look smaller against the couch. Most of all, it's in the furrow between Isabella's brows. Gently, I reach out and smother it out. She reacts with nothing but a sigh, before turning on her back and burying herself further into her sheets. At the same time, Zach also shifts. He leans forward, hands clasped tightly in front of him, as a pensive expression comes over his eyes. A long minute passes while he sits like this, before he speaks and glances up at me.
Were you able to tell her family?
Yeah. It was bad. She was their only child, and...
I'm sorry, Ash.
Don't. You did what you could.
God damn it, I fucked up. Like, why did I pick her to go to the roof? I don't know why I was panicking. I'm like, just go to the roof!
I was the stubborn one. I was the one who didn't listen. She kept telling me, if only I'd listened to you. If only I listened to Isabella.
And now he's gonna blame himself, even Isabella too.
She'd probably still be
alive. Becca's the last person I needed to account for, damn it. Zach's here. Isabella's here. Where did it go wrong with her?
What do we do now, Ash?
Unable to offer an answer, I avert my gaze. How many more close calls do we have to go through? How many deaths do we have to witness? How long can we keep this up? We're bound to break it at a point. No normal human being with a sane mind can last like this, losing people important to them one by one right in front of them. It's a miracle Isabella hasn't cracked yet. She, out of all of us, carries us the most deeper attachment with the people she loves, no matter how little time she spent with them. After all, she's the one who found that letter. I've expected her to cave in by now, yet her voice, surprisingly calm and composed in the face of this, is what exactly cuts through the thick air.
We can't let that woman...
Isabella's a fighter. She's not going to.
From us.
You know, she's not going to let that stupid woman win.
I'm not going to lose both of you to her.
Her bed creaks, dips, and when she pushes herself off, it takes an empty seat next to Zach. Quietly, she begins to gather every paper from BRC and starts laying them out on the table. Once done, she glances briefly at both of us, a sharp, determined one, then gets straight down to business without another pause. With what happened, we have no choice but to follow her lead. Although there is some tense fumbling over words at first, but the whole conversation gains steam once we have found what last night at BRC has been put onto the table. All at once, everything we brushed off, carelessly ignored, and really dismissed have been laid out for a closer scrutiny. Zach's encounters with the woman and in his dreams, Rebecca's close brush with death every time she appears, the dread of fear, the terror she brings out even in the bravest of us, everything. Because no matter how bleak this all seems, there must be a way out of this. There has to be, logic be damned. Or at least that's what Isabella and I would like to believe. Yet, even in the cool morning light shifts into the warm hues of the late afternoon, and eventually night, and none of us are still making a fucking damn sense. Darkness has fallen, but we're still nowhere near figuring things out. If anything, more at loss than we've ever been before we even started this. The next thing I know, frustration rears its ugly head, and the sheets of paper I've been holding smacks onto the table harder than I intended. The sound echoes loudly in the small room, and everyone suddenly falls silent, along with it releasing another long-held breath. Perhaps the hundredth since this morning.
We aren't getting anywhere at this rate.
Don't just drop it. There must be something in this we aren't seeing yet.
Ash, please, Rebecca wouldn't want us to give up on this. It's the only thing to hear from her, the very words I've been telling myself every single time I find myself facing a dead end. We can use a little of the optimism right now, right? Isabella's right on the other point as well. Rebecca would definitely give me an earful herself if she were still here. She had a knack for being brutally honest with her opinions. We had often clashed at times, yet I still respected her for it. Her opinion was as valuable as every other person I let into my life. Can't lose another person like that.
I know, but what are we supposed to be looking at here in the first place?
Well, you already looked through those files. You're the one that picked it out last night.
All of them? I'm pretty sure every person we've checked in there isn't necessarily involved. One client possibly died of old age. Remember, you found that dumb paper.
Not so dumb if it can kill out of us.
Zach, not the time for a joke!
Not a good time for a joke, Z-Man.
Sorry.
Anyway, like I said, you discovered that paper right before the open house. No one else was allowed inside during that time. It's too broad of a scope if we include every single person. In fact, the only notable ones are C and Jean Marie.
But if we're going to include them on the count, shouldn't there have been more than enough people to end this fucking curse already? How does this thing even work?
Yeah, okay.
That too.
They went in and out of this place. But no, you still don't get it. What I'm trying to say about those clients is...
Because, okay, hang on. Before Isabella finishes her sentence, it's true. Because, they have, the four of them, right? Including the C guy and Jean Marie. That's, 7 or 6 already. So, isn't that enough? They said show it to 5 people and then you're fine. So that's what I'm confused about. Even more so, we showed it to Luke and Hannah and Rose. So I don't get that either.
Maybe there's more than one of it. Even my friend, the priest from the cathedral. He's been acting strangely.
Father Norman? Him too?
Yeah. I visited him a few days ago. He was hysterical. They think he's sick, but I have a feeling what might the real cause be.
I knew it. I shouldn't have asked for his help.
He was only trying to help too. It's not your fault.
Oh my god, I just realized. I imagine the Ash's person was the professor. So if we didn't pick the priest, the professor would be the one who would be seeing the ghost girl, right?
There might be more than one of that paper going around that we don't know about. More to this.
He has a point, but there's a lot of gap in that logic. Somehow, even with all this information in hand, it feels like there's something we're overlooking. All we have to go on is this letter and the stuff selfish people have been keeping from the public. But what else? Where did this all started? The Ermengarde Mansion? Will bringing this letter back there fix everything? Fuck. The mansion's a private property now. Can't just waltz in there. I'd rather die before even thinking to beg right to let me in to investigate the place. One thing's very clear after the last 2 days, however. We're not safe anywhere, and I have to act fast if I want to keep my friends alive. We can't keep running away. Sooner or later, she'll get us like she did with Rebecca. Before that happens, I have to put an end to this. Sighing, I stand up and stretch out my king side of my back after several hours of sitting. We've been at this for far too long. A break is needed. Time to let everything sink in, or else we'll be all burnt out. I know I will, and it's another thing I cannot let happen while they're counting on me like this. I bet unspoken, it's in their eyes as they look up at me waiting.
We've been at this since morning. We should take a break for a few...
What the fuck is that? The rest of it never makes it out of my mouth as something heavy and grating sounds from the far end of the room. A harsh booming noise rendering through the eardrums of everyone in the room. All at once the two of them are on their feet while quickly I palm my gun at the table. However, before I can pull it up and remove it safely, the whole racket stops. Stillness descends in the room, and amidst the sudden hush, the three of us exchange anxious glances. So much for a break.
I don't like the sound of that.
Where the hell did that come
At
from?
all.
Gather everything.
No questions asked, they waste no time in getting to work, piling the documents we've been reading through. Even Isabella is unusually as silent as she gathers everything in her arms, her own movements sharp and precise, a deep furrow in her brow. There's fear, but something hardened and urgent overshadows it. But the moment doesn't last. Before we can finish, another noise up in the tension already gripping the place. What the heck is going on? Is this girl like crazy? Is she trying to scare them? Is that what she's trying to do? Suddenly the lights go out and the wardrobe at the end of the room rattles, as if something inside begs for freedom. Cautiously eyeing glued to it, I take a step forward and release the lock from my gun. I am no trigger-happy person. I'm not sure if this will even work on a ghost, but right now, its smooth surface against my palm, the trigger and the finger provides the closest thing I have to relief as I approach the closet. Don't open it! What are you doing?
Ashton, what are you
Yo,
doing?
don't open it!
I don't think
Yeah,
that's a good
don't
idea.
do it!
We should just...
Worried as both of them are, they immediately stopped at the sight and raised my hand. The edge is still there while they all huddle in the space between the door and the room. In case this goes south, whatever I find inside, they have enough time and space to run from their position. In 2 deep breaths, I crossed the room and stood in front of the closet. Oh, I don't like this! Inside has yet to stop thrashing. Instead, it has now moved to the banging at the door, louder and louder the longer I dally. Another shallow breath. A glance at my companions. A nod. Ah! Something creaks. No! I don't want to see. Ah! Then, in the next moment, I'm grasping the handles and swinging the doors open wide to reveal... Nothing. What? Right away, I part the clothes hanging on it and still none. No ghost. No woman. Not a single trace of whoever's inside. Confused, I glance back towards Zach and Isabella, only to see them mirroring the same expression on my face. The noise has finally stopped, but I'm quite sure it isn't my imagination, or maybe it is, and I'm just too strung up in my head right now to making things up. Whatever the case is, we need to get out of here as soon as possible. This only confirms we aren't safe anywhere. Without bothering too close to it, I move back, ready to leave, adrenaline now coursing through my every vein in my body. In the next second, I'm barking orders and...
We should go. You two, we need
to... Whoa, what's going on? I'm sprawling on my back and something cold catches my ankles and yanks. No! What the heck? The resulting fall knocks the wind out of me. Pain racks my whole spine and the back of my head as it collides against the floor, with force enough to dislodge my own brain from my skull. A moment lasts before she fades from my vision. Oh my god, and then... they sense it! cold tendrils twisting around my ankles, the smell of vile rot assaulting my nose, nauseating, sickening, a foul smell draining every feeling in my body. The moment her horrid laughter is still unpleasant as they're vicious the last time I've heard it, reaches my ears, my eyes snap open. No! Girl, you need to stop doing this. Like, honestly, she could have just, like, come into the room normally. No, she has to come out of the freaking wardrobe. Perhaps it's just an experience. Or maybe my mind is still attempting to comprehend this. Regardless, the minute my eyes land on her, the whole of my body freezes. The gun in my hand turns useless as I grip on it. It slackens. It's in the manner of her gaze bores into me, I say. The look of utter hatred and malice. I've seen it loads of times. From suspects, mostly murderers, who never regarded their actions despite being caught. This is the face of someone who can no longer reason with. Can you, like, kick her or something? And I know, the moment she laughs again and starts dragging me towards her, it's already going to be the
Ashton! Snap out of it!
No! I can't die here! Not yet! The haze from my mind, and the instinct kicks in then and there.
Everyone out! Get out! Get
With one powerful tug, I yank my foot out of her grip and scramble back to my feet, ignoring the piercing wail she fills the room with. Jesus! Within the span of a second, I'm gunning for the door, grabbing my wrist on the first person my hand can reach and leading the two of them out into the hallway, down the flight of steps, and right inside my car. I waste no time flooding on the gas pedal, and the second last person closes the door behind them. In a short while, I'm driving us out of Salem well. Don't even entertain the thought of winding down just yet, even as the last woman's painful cries fades into the night. Oh, it's 31st, Monday! Dude, we haven't been to the 31st yet. Oh my god. What the hell was that, man? Okay, so our relationship went up with Isabella, went up with Zachary, which is good. So the girl is pretty much just taunting us now, right? Because she's just like, I killed one of them, time to kill the rest of them now, right? Is that what she's doing? Because I think that's what she's doing. She does not care anymore. We're on the 31st. This is the first character that has reached the 31st on Monday. No other character has done this, so I'm wondering what's gonna happen now. So, I guess that, like, you know, was it Zach who said that we have to bring the letter back to the mansion and then see what happens? I think they're gonna have to do that regardless, but I guess, like, Zach's relationship with Hannah is the only way that we're gonna get in, because in reality, Zach and Hannah did get along very well. And since Rebecca's not here, it would have been Rebecca to ask Luke, because Luke would let them in because they're close friends too. So we just have to rely on Zach and Hannah that they will let us into the mansion, and then, like, something will happen. Oh my god. Anyway, if you guys enjoyed this video, remember to leave a like, let me know in the comments what you think, and be sure to subscribe and hit the bell button. I am so sorry that I killed Rebecca. I really am, because I really did not want her to die. I didn't want anyone to die in this story. Honestly, I really didn't. So yeah, I don't know what kind of ending I'm gonna get yet, and since it's too early to say, I will say this. I'm just gonna play straight out till I get an ending, and if I don't get the true ending, I will, like, replay it to get the true ending for you guys so you can see it. But right now, I'm gonna leave it at, like, whatever ending I get, and then we'll see what happens. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye! So we often get up at 5 or past 4 during exam. Jesus! Like, how are you guys getting up at 4:30? I stared at him. He was smiling, as if it was the allies to the main characters. These powerful beasts are known as summons. They are extraordinary beings that can be called into battle by their summoner. They are also depicted as